Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of AEL Rocket League. I am Formal. Up above, it is the Far-Fetched, as we're bringing you a matchup that, strangely enough, is very near and dear to my heart in a lot of ways. And no, it's not just because I'm wearing the UQU jersey, but I also grew up and went to Ballina High School, which is only about 30 minutes away from Lismore, where I believe this Southern Cross team is located. So it's kind of a trip down memory lane for me, Fetch, and I'm going to ask you, what sort of memories do these two teams bring for you?
They bring for me the fact that we just saw a one series stream the other day with Southern Cross. They found some good moments, but they were struggling a little bit, and I think that it's going to be up to their sibling team to see if they can show off, see if they can kind of show up their other sibling team, I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't call UQ as much of a sibling team. If there is a relationship, it might be a case of big brother almost punching down. Unfortunately, I would say UQ is going to be very heavily favored in this matchup right now. As we take a quick look at the lineups that we can see right here. First, Southern Cross, it's the Washed, Hoops Main, Milkman, and Fisher Boy. However, on the UQ Purple side, McLaren, DZ, as well as Lil Pete on FN. And I do remember last time we saw these players out there, I questioned, McLaren, that name seems kind of new. He absolutely was amazing at the game.
Oh, yeah, phenomenal. And when I said sibling team, I meant Southern Cross's sibling team, which I think was Southern Cross Blue.
Oh, it was
Yellow.
Blue that you
That's
saw,
what I
right?
meant. So it's basically like a, haha, we can do better. We're on stream this time. But it's yeah, I don't know if they can really do much against UQ Purple, who are looking very good. I think they're 4-0 at the moment, aren't they? That's like,
yeah, they're sort of, I have their standings right here,
anyone.
4-0 in fourth place, so a lot of fours right there. Meanwhile, Southern Cross Yellow, unfortunately, down in ninth with a 1-5 record. So it's going to be a tough matchup, I feel like, for the Southern Cross side, who I believe are from Lismore. Again, that is a belief. It is not known for sure, so if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me on Discord. People have been doing it all season long every time I say something wrong, and believe it or not, no ego here. I am happy to hear your corrections. And speaking about being happy to hear some messages, I think there's some sponsors that I'd be happy to hear about for this event.
There absolutely are. You better be happy because it's AOC, the best viewing experience. I didn't have a better segue into that. I apologize. But AOC, leader in monitor display technology, the cleanest visuals, the fastest refresh rates, and a range to suit absolutely all of your needs. For more than 50 years, they've delivered an exceptional viewing experience to millions of loyal customers even. Chatime, of course, our presenting partner. You don't need us to tell you any more about Chatime. They're fantastic. So many tea breweries all around Australia. Incredible number of combinations. A bunch of new ones as well. So if you haven't been there for a little while, give it another shot, I reckon. And of course, our noodle partner. I feel like I always feel wrong saying noodle partner, but I don't feel wrong saying video game with Indomie. My favorite line. I'm sorry. It's like the highlight of my day. Indomie noodles are made from carefully selected ingredients, the best quality flour and fresh spices from the natural resources of Indonesia. They also have a couple more in their range now, up to 14 different products. Of course, you can add your own spin on those. We always love hearing what people are doing with both Chatime and Indomie, because there are some clever creations out there. And finally, very much last but very much not least, Rig headsets, what it takes to win. Rig develops headsets delivering superior audio quality for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels, of course. Good quality headphones are incredibly important for your competitive gaming experience and add a lot to your music and your streaming experience, pretty much everything. You can all of the feedback, which isn't strictly visual, comes from audio. It's a quintessential part of enjoying the games you love.
Yeah, absolutely it is, as we're actually going to cut to the pitch right about now, as we are getting time and ready to kick this one off. Now, Southern Cross Yellow should be on that blue side. In orange will be UQ Purple, I imagine. That's what we're hoping for. This has actually been a good year, might I add, for teams actually going on the right side. We haven't had too many of sort of those oops moments just yet where teams do go opposite side, and I'm quite relieved for that.
I'm really relieved. I think everyone's kind of been just doing their thing. We've had a couple of delays, but they've always been like technological or things like that. And teams have kind of been willing to be like, oh, look, we've got some techies on our end. We'll play a 2v3 while they get connected and stuff like that. So it's been pretty good sportsmanship and pretty good coordination for everyone. So I'm actually really impressed. I'm really happy with our players because in the past, it's been a disaster.
My favorite still was when we do our special replay games and we sort of see situations where teams will change colors in between matches. That's always fun. But you know what else is fun? Actually kicking this match off. We are underway for our opening game in this best-of-5 series, and it is going to be QUT straight out of the gate. McLaren already stealing boost away, but Lil Pete on FN doesn't quite make contact with the ball, so no early goal scored just yet.
We see a damn you. Wasn't expecting that. I'm really bad at Australian accents, but it looks like Watch Hoopstein going to go in for a big play here. They've actually got a good percentage of the offense here, Southern Cross. They're going to be trying to run through the defense line. Try and see if they can pull a lot of them out. McLaren gets a really good pass from DZ, as right now it's going to be, I think, Milkman who tried to contest that. An opportunity now for potentially UQU, but the demo shuts down that attack really well, and Southern Cross starting off really strongly in this game.
Yeah, Southern Cross, actually, they were putting on a bit more attacking pressure than I initially thought we would be seeing from this side. They had a couple opportunities, but it was little unforced errors when it came to finishing the playoff that has been holding them back. Milkman, of course, back in that Aston Martin DB5. Still love to see it. Still the most stylish car on the pitch. As, a double commit. DZ took the shot away and couldn't quite put it into the net. Now a chance for Southern Cross and an awkward touch from not one but two UQ defenders. Very fortunate that's not an own goal.
Yeah, and Southern Cross are firing much harder than a 1 and 4 team, you got to think, as they managed to pull that ball straight across from front of goal. A waterfall opportunity, but McLaren doesn't quite get a touch. Pushed on the backboard. Little Pete realized they probably can't get any sort of contest there, so plays back to the defense, but doesn't actually manage to set up a clear. This is a bit of a dangerous position as Wash Tubesbane doesn't quite find that angle.
Yeah, so what I'm noticing right now from this UQ side is they're not afraid to pass it back, actually, to try and get some of these more defensive clears. And you can sort of see right now, they're almost trying to bait the Southern Cross side forward and look for that quick counterattack. Now, I'm a little bit surprised to see McLaren rotating back right here, but that's okay. DZ's going to go for a double. Doesn't find it. Lil Pete couldn't find the follow-up as well. However, it does appear to me that this UQ side, they're willing to play mind games with their opponents, at least so far early in this matchup.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they're going for the 1-2-3s, right? They're trying to make sure that every player gets a contact off the ball. They're not trying to play for these kind of like half-hearted 1-2 shots. They're not going to try and throw the shot on like right off the bat. They are waiting to make sure they can set up something big and really pull the defenders away. But Milkman now actually gets a bit of a solo run, pass off the Washed Hoops main, but has to find some sort of way to send to the ball. But I guess good kind of shepherding and bullying by Little Pete.
Yeah, it actually very far forward, Lil Pete right there, nearly set up the UQ side for that opening goal. They're still going to find it as DZ Brav will be able to slice straight through that Southern Cross defense. It's a 1-0 lead in favor of the University of Queensland.
Yeah, and it is DZ who opens up the scoring there, finding that first, that first goal for the side of UQU, and we did expect them to be the ones to probably, probably be the favorites, definitely be the favorites in this game, and the fact they're opening up the scoring does kind of speak to that, but it's not been as one-sided, as dominant as maybe fans might have expected. I think the fact that Southern Cross are definitely firing back pretty hard, as I said back in the opening minutes, I think. But at the moment, UQ have another great opportunity. Well, Pete puts it on target, but doesn't quite find that angle. A couple of players holding back in defense, but not taking up too much of the same space. They're kind of spreading out. They're getting ready for those passing plays. Not quite the clear you might have wanted if you're a Southern Cross fan, as right now it's going to be UQU trying to go up for a big play, but didn't have the boost and didn't quite have the positioning.
Oh, there it is!
Huge. Oh!
So there's a lot about this that I don't like from the UQ side and even the Southern Cross side. First of all, Southern Cross was putting on little sort of chip shot clearing attempts and not following it through. They felt like they were putting it too far in the midfield and not really willing to commit a member there. UQ, however, in response, double commits on the aerial, doesn't score, and opens up the net for what was essentially a 3v1 bum rush. Now, that's usually going to win for Southern Cross. They didn't even need all three members. They just needed Washed Hoops main to get the goal. So, yeah, that was a 1v1 goal, yes. Technically, it was a 3v1 for the attackers, with just the 2 assists not needed. Either way, great misplay from the University of Queensland.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, like, to be fair, that I did like the little juke out to begin that play, because it was a 1v1 in the end, but there was actually a little bit more earlier than that one. A few players don't quite catch that as the ball is just passed back pretty passively. And yeah, very passive play from University of Queensland. And they do manage to find that one. There was, I'm pretty sure, 3 touches on that. I'm pretty sure. That was what they were going for. That's what they wanted to find.
Well, no, what they wanted was this pinch right here. 114K. It wasn't the cleanest pinch. I think they could have gotten a little bit more power on that had McLaren been a bit faster, but the end result was an absolute missile. Coordination at its near finest. I think, that would get like an 8 Olympic judging-wise. The Russian judge might give it a 6. That's just how it is. Still, though, a nice clear coming from Little Pete off the backboard. No goal to be found.
It's fine, though. That guy, he lost to grand final to a pinch, so he's a bit biased. But
True.
I actually didn't think that was a pinch. I thought it was just came off
McLaren.
I don't remember who it was. I thought it just came off Will Pete or something like that. But yeah, like on the replay, that was absolutely fantastic. McLaren just runs it down the field with the assistance of the teammate. Now we're seeing a scoreline blowout a little bit more, 3-1 right at the moment. Will Pete just kind of playing shepherd once again. McLaren finds just that lovely little flick over the top.
Yeah, McLaren is such a ball hawk, I feel like, when it comes to scoring some of these goals. Every single touch out of this player just seems to be something pushed towards the net, even when on defense. Just likes hitting the ball straight. Case in point, kind of putting one again right there. Maybe a little bit too hard, actually. Wound up losing possession. But still, it's all to set up this 1-2. No, not quite there. It looked like they were going for a pinch shot again. And I'm getting the feeling that even though McLaren's going to score one more in our final 30 seconds, UQ's kind of looking for these highlight shots tonight.
I do think so. I think you're probably right on that one. They've gone for a few of those plays already. That one was a bit of a, I think, two players thinking that the other was going to be in defense for the side of Southern Cross. But yeah, UQ, I would not be surprised if that's the sort of thing they're going for. That is, and also like making sure to try and practice some of these harder strategies against teams who you expect to beat. It's not always a bad idea, right? That's something which you learn in fighting games, like try and hit some of the harder combos, some of the harder tech against your opponent. McLaren might have an open net here. Tries to bounce it off Milkman there, I think. That would have definitely been a highlight play. But doesn't quite get it. It's going to be followed up pretty thoroughly by DZ. I was a bit worried about the crossbar cuts, but it doesn't come through right now. It's going to be playing in favor of UQU. But yeah, that is something which some teams do. I mean, some players at least will try and find those harder plays, make sure they can kind of really solidify those against teams. Try and play the higher execution style so they get more comfortable with it against the tougher opponents.
Yeah, I do kind of feel we maybe saw little bits of that towards the end for sure. However, one thing that does stand true is going to be UQU taking that first game in this series. Still plenty more to go in this one, however. It is a best of 5, as are all of our matches here at AEL. I don't really see anything, though, from the Southern Cross side that makes me think, okay, we are going to be seeing that sort of miracle comeback run. Not yet, at least. For the most part, the tempo was there for UQ at the moment. And for Southern Cross, outside of, the ping spike we randomly caught out of Fisher Boy towards the tail end, we also saw a little bit of hesitation, particularly when on defense to try to follow up plays across that midfield. Now, it did kind of work out for them in the one goal that they scored, but I still don't necessarily agree with that mindset. So I'm hoping we get to see a Southern Cross team take a few more risks on that defensive side of the field and look to try to disrupt some of the setups that UQ are going for.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that more to the point, you can list off the things which Southern Cross are doing wrong. Like, it's not like one of these teams where you're just like, oh, they just need to spend another couple of years playing. It's like, yeah, like spend more time on the pitch and then work on those sort of ideas, work on some of those, the way they play through defense, things like that. I completely agree with you. I think that, like, in that regards, yes, but I don't think they're probably likely to take this one. DZ tries to set something up, doesn't quite get that play they might have liked off. McLaren was there for it. Now, Southern Cross going for a clearance, but they weren't able to hold onto the ball, and they had two defenders sitting in the right same spot, so I guess a double commit on defense, even though it was the middle of the pitch, and DZ managed to flick that one in. I don't know if that was stolen off or Pete. It was.
So,
DZ.
I said I wanted to see more aggressive posturing and more challenges coming from the Southern Cross side. I didn't want them to crank it all the way up to 11. That wasn't just a double commit. That was almost a triple commit right there on that corridor, as one player had already swung and missed before we saw the next two follow it up. UQ's going to score that every day of the week at the end. And as Little Pete is going to go ahead and off the kickoff put another goal in, I do need to address the chat right there. Look, Wash Hoops main, it's Rocket League tonight, all right? No one wants to play Valorant. Sorry.
Oh no! When it's got to that point where you're like, Val guys, let's put Val. Come on. Yeah, but I don't think there's much more avenue of them coming back from this. I mean, hey, if that gambit had worked, like, I would have been impressed. I wouldn't have been happy because I want to watch Rocket League. Valorant's a silly game.
Well, this is a silly goal. Oh.
I was hoping. You never want shots like that to go in normally, but I was hoping. That was just too absurd, you know? Like, it crossed the boundary of, like, okay, this is too silly to go in, to the point where I was like, no, okay, it's actually funny again.
I wanted it. I wanted it bad. Instead, we get McLaren putting in another top left-hand bin. I mean, he'll knock it through each and every time. It feels like McLaren, the ball hawk, doing it once more. 3-0 lead.
There we go. And this is what we expect. And it's like, the other thing is that UQ are really good. Like, again, they're undefeated. I think, from memory, this group has some good teams as well. I mean, obviously, I like UQ Purple. I think they're one of my favorites for this. If not to win the entire thing, to make a solid run at it. Because there are other teams who are incredibly talented. Little Pete finds another one. But yeah, there's like some really solid teams, I think, in this group. So it's tricky. It's a bit tricky coming up against them for the side of Southern Cross Yellow, but it's not like it's not like they're not showing anything, right? It's like they're showing some mistakes, but they're also showing some work in the game.
Yeah. I mean, they're in a tough group. This Group C is one of the tougher ones. The UTS SJs probably would have been my favorite to sort of take this group. They have lost a game, however. When I sort of look who else is up there, I mean, the QUT Real World Fakes, they've kind of finished their run at 5-3. They played through a lot of their games towards the tail end. And I'm not sure 5-3 is going to get a top 2 spot. It is 3 who advance, but it does mean that goal differential can come into play as Milkman actually puts forth a solo effort and gets it through. Real quick, though, I just want to highlight, I look at this group, you have like the SUT, so that's like Swinburne, I believe. The Flying Pigs are in there, the UCID Open Net Esports, and of course UQU Purple. I do know, yes, 3 teams advance out of each group this season, but there are like 5 solid teams that I can make an argument for being in the top 8.
Yeah. No, like, I completely agree with you. It's rough. And it's like, even the bottom of the ladder, like, I genuinely, I don't think, you put Southern Cross in a different team, and I don't think they're making top 3. I don't think it doesn't matter which group you put them in. I don't think they're making the top 3. But I genuinely think they could start taking games off other teams in the group. There are some teams where you look at them and you're like, these guys just pulled together a few mates, looked at what events were on, and are like, Rocket League will do. And, like, it's cool to see them playing. Like, I love that. I want this to be that kind of event. I think that's fantastic. Especially as we've seen teams like that actually grow. I think we had a team like that actually, like, ooh, that was dangerous, but it worked out. It worked out in the end, I guess, for Southern Cross. But yeah, like, we've seen teams who just kind of come together for the sake of, why don't we just play Rocket League? And they've actually, like, made decent runs of it, like a year or so in. There goes the attempt at the flip reset. It pays off. And finds it. There's a clip for you.
Yeah, McLaren's got this one now in the bank, and with the demo as well from Little Pete, just to open the door. I mean, that just means Little Pete can say that's all on him, but absolutely putting that goal through. Next game, KBM, yeah, watch Hoops Main again. I don't know how to tell this to you, but the best mechanical players, they use KBM. They want that consistent movement. So when you look at freestyles, more often than not, it's a KBM player. And apparently that's what McLaren is as well. DZ now going to try and push up that corridor already with the 4-goal lead. UQ just really feeling comfortable tonight. Oh,
yeah, they're feeling very comfortable. And I like that there's some banter as well, though. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy a little bit of that. I mean, there's another one. No, not quite. Almost played off backboard. That just, look, I thought there was going to be something happening there, and then I kind of realized they had absolutely no plan for it against the backboard, and nothing quite worked out. Milkman also kind of going for a reset, saying, Hippie, you can do almost. If this does turn into a freestyle show, I'd almost be down. Like, because I think that, usually when it's like a freestyle show where one team's getting absolutely smacked around, it's like, well, one team just can't touch the ball and the other team's just, like, you know, styling on them, right? But I think I genuinely believe that we could see an attempt or 2 from Southern Cross, and that's kind of sick, in my opinion.
Well, I think the best way to sort of look at it is the 2 goals that we've seen scored by the Southern Cross side, they were earned. Like, they came from, first it was, you know, the Watch Hoops main, and then it was that Aston Martin of Milkman, who each put through some pretty solid solo efforts to get each of those goals across. And that was with UQU playing defense. So it's not as if, you know, this team can't score against UQ. They've had those fleeting moments. However, when we take a look at things consistently, we're currently in game 2 and we're 1 goal away from a Brazil scoreline after this goal right here.
Yeah. And that's why I think they go for some exciting stuff, right? I think they just go kind of have some fun with it. I know it probably sounds very antithetical to people who are, like, really into competitive games, who are like, try hard all the time. But, like, I think giving your like, respect in this situation is like taking your opponent on and being like, we're going to do some cool stuff because it's probably going to be very hard for us to win given the caliber of our opponents. But they are like taking it to them, and I think that's really awesome. At the moment, it looks like DZ might be setting something up, but it doesn't quite work out. No one else was kind of there for it. I thought we might see some tricky pass play, but the others were kind of just like, all right, DZ, what do you got? And that was it. 20 seconds left, though. I think that we are looking at probably this being maybe like one more exciting goal, you know, but that'll be about it. And obviously, that's not going to be enough for Southern Cross to come through. But I think we've known that for a while now.
I was going to say something pretty controversial, and now I don't know if I can because Watch Hoops Main has kind of revealed to be listening to this stream, and it's going to make it sound almost a little pandering when I say this, but as much as I love that Aston Martin fetch, I have to admit, the full Rasta vibe from Watch Hoops Main, I was going to highlight and call out as being, you know, one of the nicer looking cars, but now since it's pandering, can't really say that anymore. I'm going to give it to DZ. Either way, give us that Brazil score line, a little bit of a Brazil, as we get that 7-1 score at the end. Little Pete puts it through. UQ just in control.
Well done, well done. Yeah, that's it. That was what they were going for. I think that was the master plan. They're too clever. They had us all playing. I actually do agree. I like the aesthetics we're seeing today. We're talking about the last stream, actually, how many cars we're seeing nowadays.
Yes.
It's not like it's just always the same couple. We're actually seeing like a bit of a variety, and I think that in this game alone, we've got like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, there are cars that I don't even know the names of. That's how few we see it, and I like probably spend more time watching this game than what a normal person should. And like, I don't know, like I don't even know the name of the car that Watch Hoops Main is driving. It looks like, it looks like a Hot Wheel car. Probably came from the Hot Wheels set, but I don't know. It's just amazing to see, you know, variety come out. Oh yes, been waiting for this. McLaren in the McLaren F1 car. All right, we have a new winner for best car. Sorry, but gotta be repping the number 3 of Mr. Ricardo as Lil Pete gets the first goal, just like Lando Norris showing his teammate up.
You know what? I'd have you at some of the sports references. I'm not going to make you at F1. I'm sorry. That's too far for me. That's too cool, you know? That's like too trendy.
Look, last F1 meme. This series still is gone longer than the Belgium Grand Prix last weekend. Lil Pete now going to try and clear it across the middle, but we'll run into a bit of disruption as Fisher Boy is going to be forced to play that middle of the field. Nice little bump actually going to open the McLaren up, tries to find DZ, but they can't make contact this time.
Yeah, not quite finding it. This car looks, I think I've only seen this car a couple of times, and one of those times was when a couple of the, I don't know exactly who it was, but a couple of casters all played a few games of Rocket League, and I was seeing you do the little aerials with the good old F1 cars, and they look absurd. Like cool, but absolutely absurd. Like these cars designed to have maximum downforce, and like look at this. Like it's just so ridiculous.
I actually, I use the F1. I'm an F1 main since they've come out in Rocket League. Yeah. It's the Dominus hitbox. They're just fancy looking Dominus. Like, look how fancy it looks.
It does look. It looks like a paper plane. That's it. Do you know those like?
Yes.
Did you ever play the paper plane world record game?
Oh, I've seen it. Like,
yeah. It looks like at least 3 of those. It's ridiculous. Like I want an origami Rocket League car now, to be honest. But yeah, like that's. I don't know. That just I think actually that means that over the course of the series we've genuinely seen 7 cars, which is ridiculous for 3 games. That's good.
It absolutely is. I mean, all we need now is a 4th game somehow where Milkman then busts out the Aston Martin F1 car, and we have like a real showdown in that regards. Instead, well, it's going to be another breakaway for UQ. McLaren going for a double touch. He could have put that in. He definitely could have put that in. He was going for something fancy right there. UQ still feeling in control. The tempo of this 3rd game should be worth noted. It has been a lot faster. UQ has been going up and down the pitch a lot more. And when they score those goals, they're a lot quicker as well. 3-0 lead now for the University of Queensland.
And it does make sense here that McLaren is able to beat out the Aston Martin. As nice as it is, that Milkman was a little slow to get to that, which again, makes sense. You know, it fits with the law.
Yeah, I was about to say, you said you don't know F1 memes, but there you go. The McLarens are faster than the Aston Martins.
Well, you know, you gotta take a stab every now and again. But yeah, see, that's the thing. It's annoying. I wish there was like some overlap between WRC. And to be fair, I haven't followed WRC in probably like 3 or 4 years. But like, at least if there was some manufacturer like similarities, like it was just like, oh yeah, Mitsubishi versus Subaru. Like, yeah, I get that. Haha, classic. You know, classic early 2000s, late 90s.
But is that not what Formula One is?
Do either of those two have teams? I mean,
no, those two don't. But like the constructors' championship is just as important as the individual drivers one.
Oh yeah, but I don't know the actual like. At least if you said makes, I knew that I'd maybe have a chance.
Well, I mean, Mercedes is the top team.
It's true. Well, I'm taking your word for it, but I don't have context for that. Okay. You know, there's no like emotional connection. It's just like, haha, right? Mercedes are good.
I guess I see Mercedes. I get maybe it's because I live like across the street from a Mercedes dealership. Oh, by the way, 4-0. UQ puts another goal in.
We said the word Mercedes, and it was DZ squad. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I was trying to find some clever way of tying.
Well, that truck is a Mercedes. That's what you don't realize.
Oh, interesting. It's got Japanese writing on it, though. I hadn't realized that. That's like weirdly makes sense. I'd assumed it was some super like American Dodge style car, but it's got the Japanese writing. That's like, yeah, that fits. I don't know quite how, but it sort of makes sense. It's sort of an aesthetic. I don't know. I still think that our good old Utes winning the battle here. I think Little Pete is currently coming out as well. Like, I appreciate
what, the Holden? Yeah, that's that Aussie pride right there. Root for the Holden Ute.
It's got rock wheels as well. I can't tell if they're rock or if they're supposed to be like a present like wrapped up, but I'm pretty sure they're rock, right? Just Flintstone with. That's what makes it, I think.
True.
It's like going as awkward as you can, and that one was a very good attempt. There's the crossbar curses. Little Pete just pulls it out wide. Bishop Boy potentially going to set up a cross again, but that was a good opportunity from Southern Cross. They just didn't quite get it.
Yeah, unable to find that goal right away. DZ, though, still going to be applying at least some pressure. It feels like a majority of this game has been played on the blue side of the pitch, as we do get a close look at those wheels as it's a little reset for Little Pete. Not really put on target, though. McLaren actually doesn't take the shot. No one wants to take the shot. Eventually, McLaren's like, all right, fine. I'll go ahead and press it forward. Playing it through the corner. Ball falls in front of the net. Shot comes through off the post and save by Fisher Boy 99.
There we are. I thought there might be a bit of a breakaway, but Fisher Boy didn't quite have the same speed. Tries to take contest 50 in the middle of the field, but doesn't quite work out. It's back straight to another one. Here it is, Little Pete once again, just winning this one out. Watch Main is able to play it off the backboard. Couldn't do that in Valorant. But isn't able to find too much more of a clear there. Isn't able to like really put the ball down the attacking end. I feel like, a big decisive clear for Southern Cross. It doesn't mean anything really, but I feel like, it makes you walk away from the game with a smile if you're able to get something really clever. And again, it's not like they can't do that. And Watch Main goes up high, gets intercepted by Little Pete, but they are going for it. That's exactly what it seems like they're going to try and go for.
Yeah, as we do see Little Pete looking to set up McLaren. Ball put a bit too high. DZ now going to cross the field up. And that actually might open a bit of a breakaway. Last chance to avoid the shutout right now for the Southern Cross side. And it winds up being an own goal because there always has to be one, even if it is intentional. The pinch, 123 kilometers per hour going the wrong way.
Dominant pinch there. Yeah, there has to be one. It has happened. I actually genuinely think it has happened in every single stream. And if there was 1 week we missed, there was 2 in the next week.
Yeah.
That's I'm convinced. I mean, I don't really know if I have the energy to go back and watch every single thing just for that.
There's
Maybe I'll do it when we're prepping for finals, but there is always one, And there might Ball doing a little goal downs there, just having a little jig. But yeah, that went pretty much as we expected. UQU probably the best, if not top 2 team in this group, coming up against Southern Cross, who should be, again, in any other group, I think they'd be picking up. They wouldn't be bottom. It's just unfortunate they've got one of the most stacked groups. But that's how these things go. And I mean, hopefully, if they do take some of these things and work on it, they could do some cool stuff.
Yeah, I think they definitely can. It's going to be exciting to sort of see where that team does go from here. Realistically, for both these sides, because this UQ Purple team, 5-0 right now, they're really poised to make a run into that playoffs, and I'm going to be excited to see how far they go. McLaren has been so much fun to watch, and again, kind of put on a little show right here, now being more synergistic with the team, something, if I remember correctly, I was a little critical of in the past, actually. Were they playing against the team as much? Well, we saw the trick shots come out in force here tonight, so very happy to see both of them at it. That is, however, going to conclude us for tonight. Only one match.
Only one. Sweet. Only one. Short and sweet. But we've only it's kind of been one of those weeks, I guess. But I'm sure we'll be back next week with plenty more games, at least one or two. You know, I can guarantee that. I promise.
Not to mention the high school is going to be going straight at it tomorrow. By the way, so if 2 o'clock, if you are around, be sure to check out the High School Rocket League because that's going to be happening. Finals actually just 2 weeks away, or 1 week away. Sorry, finals are next week.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Sure, if you want to watch more Rocket League, you have to make sure you see that, otherwise you're gonna miss out.
Exactly. So it's the last week before the finals. So be sure to check that out. That's gonna be at 2 p.m. tomorrow. It sounds like some players are doing some ones right now in the background. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them drive on. Was that you, Fetch, who just scored? No, that was Milkman. All right, Milkman's putting on a little bit of a show. I'm gonna go watch it. I think Fetch is gonna be dragged along as well. So until next time, we'll catch you all out there on the pitch.